Tell them run it on.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it on. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it on. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it on.
What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to the Cleveland Terry Show. Without a new intro, without my text messages showing up on screen, without a new intro, a new song, a layout, just a little bit of everything. If you guys did not know, and as I'm saying this, I'm going to update so I can make sure I get the chat in the window here. As you guys obviously know, especially if you're not in, California, we've been dealing with some extreme fires. I mean, that's really all I can say. It's just been hectic. It's been crazy. And, I'm hoping it doesn't get any worse. So let me just put this in here. Activate. There we go. Okay. We're getting a new rave sex. So, needless to say, last week did not go according to plan. This hasn't been a good start to 2025. I'm just going to be honest with you. This has not been a good start. So, I am waiting for some good things to actually happen because so far it hasn't been good. It has not been good, unfortunately. But, we're human beings. We're strong. We will get through it. Or we won't get through it. But either way, something's going to happen. But I'm glad to be here with you guys today. It is January 16th, which means, oh my God. Mac, you lost your home? I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. It's been surreal, in all honesty. Just witnessing and experiencing the devastation that's taken place. My cousin lost his home. He lived in the Palisades. He lost his home. My other cousin, who lives in a little outside of Altadena, she's been literally fighting. What is going on with my thing here? Sorry, guys. She has been literally fighting. Oh, there we go. She's been literally fighting every day. Well, at least, in the past week to try to keep her home. So it's not been good. It's not been good. The funny thing about it is, it's not even funny. It's dumb. The world has decided that, I don't even say the world, a certain group of people in America have decided that California isn't worthy of help. And there's all of these rumors and misconceptions. Why should we help? The Palisades has millionaires and actors and stars and media execs. And so why would we give Paris Hilton more money to build a new house? This has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now, since I'm talking to people that are not in California, a lot are, a lot aren't. Anyway, since I am not going to, hold on, let me just tag this because I'm going to go into this year. I'm going to go into this year with the positivity. Like I was saying, there is this misconception about Southern California. Why spend the money? I'm not giving Paris Hilton another $1 million so she can build a new house. Look, This is the facts, okay? From a person that lives here. So I need you to understand. So if anybody gives you dumbass bullshit logic or you see it on social media, I need you to just stomp that out immediately. Okay? Stomp that out immediately. Here is the facts. The Palisades. Yes, they do have rather wealthy people there. Okay? A lot of my clients came from the Palisades. So there's a lot of wealthy people. There are actors and entertainers and sports people and, media people. Those exist. You know what else is in the Palisades? Regular people. You see, the thing is, when the Palisades was created, it's been around for years. There's a lot of second and third and fourth generation families living in these homes. So a lot of the people that live there aren't rich. They just fell into a good location. They fell into it and they don't have a lot of money. They're just living. Their house is paid for, so they're just living. Now, is the house worth a lot of money, even though it might be a Cracker Jack box? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's not money that they're just, that they have in front of them. They have that money when they sell or when they refinance. So they're not rich. And when you refinance, that's still money you have to pay back. It's not like they're just making money. Okay. So first off, we'll talk about that fire. So regular people, a lot of regular people got their homes burned down. Okay. The same thing with the Altadena fire. Altadena, was really one of the only cities, especially in the past. Actually, it's really one of the only cities in California that 80% of the homes, wrong percentage. 80% of Black home owners are in Altadena. So Altadena has the population of Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians. The Blacks that are in Altadena, 80% of them actually were homeowners, which is completely skewed from like the rest of the state, the rest of the country. Okay. So regular people. So when you hear these things like when they're saying, oh, don't give them money, don't do this, don't do that, that's bullshit. These are regular people trying to survive. Now, guys, let me tell you something. We're going to be positive today. Okay. I'm already seeing some comments that would normally send me off the deep end, especially when I'm talking, real world stuff. But I'm not going to do that today because my birthday weekend is coming up. So we're going to be positive. Okay. So there was a question up here that said, don't they have house insurance? That's a great question. People that are not in California would be the first question that they would ask. I get it. Here's the thing. I'm sure you've heard the insurance companies stopped selling policies for fire insurance in Southern California. The only place to get fire insurance now is the state. And the state's fire insurance is expensive. Fire insurance is one of the most expensive policies you will ever own. And remember, fire insurance in case. That's what we're talking about here, in case of. So Palisades is not known to be a fire issue. Neither is Altadena. I live in Simi Valley. So I'm on the other side of the mountain and then a mountain. We get fires all the time. All the time. Every 1 or 2 years, we get a big ass fire that surrounds my city. It's just what it is. Not the same for the Palisades. Palisades never catches on fire. So it's like being 25 years old and then they're like, hey, do you want to get your cemetery plot now? They're going to be like, no, why would I do that now? Same thing with like the Palisades and Altadena. Now, all I will say is we really need to be better at helping people. You know, this social media is trash. The Republican Party is trash. Anybody that says we will only give you money under these guidelines and these rules when tornadoes and hurricanes and floods, they don't question that. They don't question that. I'm not going to do this whole not my government type thing because I don't believe in that. But the facts are, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, what their human, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, there's going to be problems. It's going to be problems. Anyway, Kalo, thank you for the birthday gift. I appreciate that. That is, hey, we're not getting any younger. I have a bat mitzvah to pay for coming up. So I thank you for everything. I'm literally going to create a bat mitzvah fund that's just going to be a revolving thing. So I don't have to ask every time. It is my birthday coming up. My birthday is on Saturday. That's right. It'll be on January 18th. That is my birthday. I am a Capricorn. Please, make sure if you're in town and you can go, come hang out. I'm DJing at a nightclub near my house. Should be a good time. It's always fun. Okay. What else has happened? Let's see. We got the fires. So during the fires, we have had, I had a meeting before this, 2 meetings. It's always horrible when you have to deal with overseas manufacturers or businesses when you're doing meetings, because they're always like, can we meet at 7:30? Can we meet at this? And I'm like, I don't get up that early. I'm glad I'm up. So there's that. It's been a long day already. Mac, Mac, so I assume you're not going to be at Namm, Mac. Okay. I lost my train of thought because I'm looking at this stuff. So fires 1. When the fires happened, obviously, all of our clients postponed for that weekend. So that was like, it was the beginning of the year, so it's always a little lighter. I think there were 5 events. Yeah. 4 canceled or postponed, I should say. And then, one of them, we had one party in the Bay Area, AI DJ, in the building. We had one party in the Bay. They went up to the Bay and did that party. It is amazing to me how, even though we were having all these fires, it's amazing how many people are just unaffected. It doesn't bother them, because I still had client calls. I still had people trying to book events. It's just amazing to me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's probably not the best time for it. I know you got to book. I get it. The world doesn't stop, because now, we've had the Palisades do that. Also, I am more concerned with the future. Let me get this thing right. I am more concerned with the future of our events. Yes, we're going to keep booking events, and that's going to happen. But an entire city was pretty much burned to the ground, and I have a lot of clients in that area. So it is, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the coming months. Obviously the one thing I've noticed so far is, even the people that their houses burned down, they've called me and they're like, look, we're still going to have the party. Like, are you sure? Like, it's a lot of money. We're still going to have the party, because they don't want the fire taking out their homes to be the only thing, their kids remember of the year. They want to have something good. And the one thing I will say is, especially being Jewish and doing a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs, you know, when things happen, they stick together. They get even closer. They build even more from it. So, not having your bar bat mitzvah is almost unheard of, you know, because that is the family togetherness. So I'm not worried per se, but I do know there are going to be some clients that maybe we're going to be booking or that, you know, put it on hold. That's just the way it works. I expected, you know, I've had some clients already asking me for discounts. Nobody's asked to fully cancel, just postpone, but I have had people asking for discounts, and I've been giving. You know, if your house burned down, the least I can do is take some money off your bill. You know, I'm a big proponent of just look. You don't have to lose money. I've never been a fan of those people that are like, they gave it all, and they never made a dime, and it's like, you got to make some money. Okay, this is a business. You have your own family to take care of, so you got to make some money. But you don't have to ever make all the money. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to make all the money. You know, these people, even now, all of these, you know, super rich people that could help. Okay. In the Palisades, I don't know if you guys have heard this yet. In the Palisades, you know, the winds were literally 100 miles per hour. So you couldn't get a helicopter up there. You couldn't get anything up there to drop water. And people are like, well, what about the hydrants? And there was water in there. Here's the thing. The water that comes from the hydrants is really never the thing that puts out fires. It's the drops on something that big. And if you don't have planes and helicopters in the air, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. That thing's going to burn down, unfortunately. So, however, we have is he a politician? So he's a real estate developer named, I forget I think it's David Caruso. I think that's his name. He was running for governor in California. He lost. He has a full-on retail mall in the Palisades. It didn't burn down. Why? Why didn't it burn down? Because he hired private fire people to come in and with their water trucks and tanks and everything and just continue to protect his assets. Now, is that a problem? No. It's your business. I get it. You do what you got to do. And you see here, you know, good for him. He has the money to do it. Yeah. To a certain degree. Now, this is where I get back to, you don't need all the money. Okay. Yes, he's protecting his investment. You know what else is his investment? The people that live in the damn city. So if there are no people in the city, his investment doesn't do anything. He's going to lose money regardless. And there's literal pictures of his place standing, and right across the street, everything burned to the ground. He's not getting any business. We're going to disagree, Unique. Sorry. I'm not in that window. I'm not there. That is inhuman. That is inhuman. Inhuman to think that way. These people, this is your livelihood. You're a retail place. Your livelihood is the people. So, you know, sorry. Jesus, why won't this go away? There we go. So, you know, it is what it is. But I can't keep dealing. I can't keep dealing with all these mega rich people that are only concerned for themselves. Okay? I can't. You have billionaires. There are people right now, and I'm not, look, I know capitalism and people are so focused on that. And, if you make them do that, it's socialism. No, man, I don't think it's socialism. It's called doing your part. And if a person has more money than they will ever be able to spend, you take that money and you use it for the people that got you there, the people that put you in that position. It's just silly. If I'm worth $1 trillion, I can, and it's going to cost $150 billion to take care of, to rebuild everything. Oh my God. I have $1 trillion. And yes, and I know. I saw, Kello said liquidity is best. I know all that money's not just sitting there. I know they don't have $1 trillion sitting in a bank somewhere. I'm not an idiot. But that doesn't matter, because they still have more money than they know what to do with. It's just infuriating when I think about it, when I just think about how much better our lives could be if they would just not be so greedy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just over it. I'm over it. And then we have an incoming president. Again, not a political rant, but an incoming president. The first thing he does is blame the governor. Not, hey, you know what? That's a shame. When I get in office, we're going to do everything we can to get them back up to speed. No, it's the governor's fault. It's mismanagement. You get it? It's just, this is not humanity. Okay. And anybody that says I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican and you stand on that flag and you're just like, this is me. Ha ha. You don't know. Shut up. We're not helping anybody. You're not helping anybody. Nobody is winning in this battle that we're doing. This whole battle is stupid. And I'm just over it. I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'm just over all this talk, all this political BS. I am over it. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with the incoming president. There were things that I didn't agree with the president that we have in office right now. But the number one thing that all presidents are supposed to do is be for the people, not for a certain group, the people. That's the number one thing. And I don't know what's going on in this world. I don't. It's batshit crazy. It's batshit crazy. Anyway. So we will get through it, no matter if we get help or not. People want to trash on California. I don't want to live anywhere else. I love my state. So the people here that want to be here love their state just as much as I do. That's what we need. We need people like that. We'll see. Hold on. Yeah. And there's money. You know what I mean? There's money. And again, this goes back to politics and where they feel like they need to put the money. Look, I'm a Jew. Okay. So when I say this, please believe me, we give too much money to foreign countries. Okay. I'm going to put it in a perspective that most people can understand. You're at your home, right? And you got bills due, your mortgage is due, and you have just enough to take care of that. Okay. Pay all your bills, have some food on the table. Your friend comes over, your brother comes over. Hey man, I'm really desperate. I need some money. Is there anything you can do? You're going to be like, I wish I could help you, but I can't right now because my priority is my own family. I'm sorry. I wish I had more money to help you. Okay? That's common sense in my brain, right? That's what most people would do. We're the only country that's like, yeah, how much you need? Cool. Ukraine? Cool. Israel? Cool. Meanwhile, we have literally falling apart infrastructure, things that need to happen, actually need to happen, money that needs to go back to our homeless to get them off the streets. And, I don't know, maybe stop having people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for school, little things, just things that we need. I don't understand it. Our focus should always be on us first. And then if we have something left over, we go from there. Anyway. Okay, let me see here. We have some questions. I know I pinned one. Yeah, exactly. Anybody that lives here understands that. Anybody that lives here understands that. And I think that's the thing. There's a lot of people that are making statements and allegations and trying to settle all these rumors. They don't live here. They've never been here. Because I don't know too many people that move to LA and have to leave LA because they just didn't like it. I don't know too many people like that. Most people are like, this is great. The weather's always nice. I'm 2 hours from everything, the beach, amusement parks, the snow in the mountains, natural forests. I'm 2 hours away from all of it, all the time. Okay, let's see here. Oh, where'd it go? Greetings, Cleveland. Hope you're well. When you're going to review the new QSC column array speakers? Well, Harry, that's a very good question. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'll be able to schedule something and set something up after Namm. I'm hoping and assuming that QSC will be at Namm. So I will set something up. They'll probably have to send me, one for review. We'll see. Now, if you want to know my general reaction right now, I think that QSC understands sound. They understand low end. I mean, some of their other systems, even with the 12s, are pretty damn impressive. However, the top is just horribly ugly. I'm just going to be honest with you. What I have seen is a lot of people comparing them to the EVs, saying they're better than the EVs, which I don't think is a flex, in all honesty, because I don't think the EVs sound all that good. At least this one. I know that there's supposedly a brand new EV that's going to be released at Namm or around Namm. So I'm excited to see that. But in general, I have never been impressed by EV. And I've spoken to EV. They understand that. They're like, we know. So I know that they have had plans in the works. But right now, their top of the line column array to me does not sound top of the line. It's fine. It's fine. And maybe it's not their fault that I have such a negative opinion of them. I fell into the media hype, or I should say not even the media hype. It's more the DJ hype. Talking about, oh, EVs, this is all I need, these Evolves, and oh my God, it's great. And I use it, and I used them one time when I was in Montana. I had to rent them. Not impressed. Not impressed. So if the QSCs are a little better than that, I won't be buying them because that's not enough. I'll just keep my LDs. Even though they're smaller. I think I think everybody is making a mistake. And look, this could be QSC's first run. And then, 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, they come out with a 15. I don't know. But 15 or higher is where every column array needs to be. And the fact, and I'm not saying you can't have 12s or you can't have 10s or 8s. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that every column array should have a 15 or 18-inch version. Party planners, coordinators, designers love column arrays. They love them. But if I walk into a party and they tell me this party is, 200 plus people, I'm not bringing my column array. Not even the 44s. Not even the 44s. Now, when the G3 comes out, we'll talk. If it ever comes out. But when it comes out, we'll talk then. And at that point, maybe, because I love the G3s in the what are they? 40s, 38s? What do I have? I can't remember right now. I'm a little tired. Anyway, the Mauis that are right before the 44s, 28s. Sorry, now I remember. The 28s. I think those are some of the best sounding speakers for their size and what they put out. So I'm not as happy now when I listen to the 44s. I think the 44s don't sound nearly as good. So if they can make the 44s a louder, harder hitting version of the 28s, I'm still going to say those are probably the best ones. We'll see. So to answer your question in a long-winded way, I'll review them when they get here. I don't think I'm going to be all that impressed. Sorry if I bursted your bubble there. Don't get it twisted, Kalo. I'm not saying not to have a foreign policy. I'm saying we need to walk it back a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Period. Walk it back a little bit. Okay. They might, but hey, you guys all got money. There's no issue. Hold on, let me pin some more comments. I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to pin some comments here and get back to them. So if I don't bring up your stuff, let's see, can I do both? Yes, I can do more than one. Okay, if I don't get to your stuff immediately, I plan to. Okay. Mixed Master G in the building. What's going on? The women, the weed. Sometimes when I go back through comments and and then there's just like things that pop up, I'm like, what was I talking about where the women and the weed hits my conversation? Thank you, Keith, for the birthday. Thank you very much. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to get back. I get the sentiment, but it's more nuanced than this. You're talking to me like I'm in 4th grade. And I'm not saying there's always nuance, man, but that's not what we're talking about here. Everything is nuanced. Okay. Everything is nuanced. So that's never going to change. I'm breaking things down in a way that are consumable. Okay. I'm not a market research. I'm not an economist. I'm not going to give you, all of this technical jargon that's just going to confuse people. I'm telling you the facts from one experience, but this is a dismissal. You're dismissing what I'm saying here. And I personally, I'm going to feel how I'm going to feel, especially living in the city, but if you want to get into a political debate, that's another stream, because I'm just trying to make it very topical. That's the key here. Okay. Let's see here. In music. Okay. Travis, welcome. Yeah, In Music is back. Back at Namm. Back at Namm with their private room. Going back to old school. They're actually listening. I think this is the year. Or I should say last year. I think they realized something. And when I say they, I'm not talking about they. I'm really talking about he. Because they, meaning all the people that work in music, want to do more. They want to give us what we're asking for. He, meaning the CEO, doesn't always agree. So I think by putting out the Rane Performer and seeing the success that the Rane Performer had, I think it's kind of swayed him. Because look, I have good relationships with all the manufacturers. I got great relationships with In Music. I have been telling them left and right, myself, Mojax, we went out to dinner with them and we were like, you guys got to have a presence here, not just have. So for the last few years, Rane has done, or In Music has done, two things. One, they allow beat junkies to kind of put their sponsored banner behind them at Namm. And then they've been providing them with gear. That's their marketing. And then two, they've had an office. I'm sorry, not an office. They've had a hotel room where they invite up special people to come check out new product. Not consumer friendly. No consumer will see any of this new product. So, out of sight, out of mind. And it's been hurting them. So we've been telling them every year, you guys got to get a booth. Doesn't have to be the cream of the crop, booth in the private room and all this stuff. Doesn't have to be that, but you got to be there. You have to be there. And the fact that they weren't, I think it was obvious what was going on. And then they saw what happens when you actually give people what they ask for, and also that you're involved and that you're around. They're listening finally, I think. I hope. Okay. All right. I'm going to get back into the DJ game. Everything is digital now. So what do I need? DJ controller, headphones, speakers, laptop, and what else? Okay. So, in general, the basics, DJ controller, turntables, mixer, CDJs, an all-in-one. Headphones, could be anything. Speakers, it depends on if you're trying to DJ live or if you're trying to just DJ at your home. Laptop, depends on if you're trying to go for an all-in-one and which one I would recommend versus getting a super high-end computer. But neither here nor there, you can still make do, typically under $1,000 with like a MacBook Air or something like that. That's really all. But what else is relative? Because it depends on what you're trying to do. If you tell me, oh, I'm doing this and I'm trying to blow up, that's a whole different story than, oh, it's a hobbyist. I just want to DJ in my house. If you want to DJ in your house, you can get yourself a, DDJ 400 or something like that. Get yourself a Rev 4. Rev 4, is that a thing? I got the Rev 1. What's the other one? That's not the Rev. I'm literally brain dead today. Where is it at? Hold on. Okay. I got too many things around here. Where is it at? The little Pioneer one. Either way, Newmark, Pioneer, you're good to go. But it just depends on how much you're trying to do and spend. Yeah, we absolutely need them. It's a very interesting thing about Greenland. Everything these people do, there's always a financial tie behind them. It's never about, hey, we just want to do this because it's for the betterment of, no, there's no betterment. It's always about financials. And underneath the ice in Greenland, okay, is a huge, miles and miles of natural resources that have been untapped. Metals, oil, minerals, all under there. But you can't get to it because the ice is, it's like permafrost. It's just too thick. But that's why, because at a certain point, I think these long-term projectors are assuming that global warming, which, is a hoax, doesn't exist, by the way, is going to end up melting that stuff down, and then all these resources are going to be available. So if we just take Greenland right now, when there's nothing, we'll end up being, one of the actual wealthiest countries in the world. People think we're stupid. They really do think we're stupid. And people are just going along with it. Oh. There was another person that wanted the Panama Canal in Greenland, in Canada. There wasn't this other guy that wanted to take over the world. How'd that work out? Anyway. Okay, so if it's for fun, I wouldn't spend all the money. Okay, in all honesty. Now, if you're one, okay, let me walk that back a little bit. You spend whatever you can afford and whatever you want. Okay, if you got the money, do what you want to do, right? So, but in general, I would just tell to everybody, get yourself something easy. Pick yourself up. One of these guys right here. This guy right here. This is a great option too. The Mixstream Pro Go. The other Pioneer one, Flex 4. I knew there was something. The Flex 4. Yeah, Flex 4 is a nice one. Get yourself some used stuff. People are always selling used stuff all over the place. And then if you're just doing backyard parties, you can get away with, honestly, any type of speaker. Even like the Mackie Thump Goes are fine for a backyard boogie. If you're starting to build up, maybe pick yourself up some 12-inch tops. Like the QSCs, like the K12.2s or the SRXs, which are only in 15s. Who else makes a good speaker? LD makes a quality speaker. They're affordable. There's also that other super cheap speaker that everybody swears by. Digital DJ Tips always swears by them. I can't think of the name right now, but they're like $400 or $500. Yes, even the Evolve 50s. Yes, absolutely. Sorry, the current iteration of EV speaker systems, in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, and this is a working DJ opinion, not a influencer tech reviewer opinion. I just don't think their lineup is impressive. Like, at least, like, I don't love RCF, in all honesty. I don't love it, but I can't deny that they're putting out quality speakers. I can't deny that. I can't deny that they sound good, although be it very, very transparent, like very, very, they tend to err on the high crispy side, which almost comes off sounding sterile to me, but I'm never going to say that the quality isn't there. The quality is there. Okay. So when people are like, oh, RCF, I'm not going to, they're good. They're good. But in general, EV has not impressed me. And I think EV was the company that, put themselves on the map. And they did a really good job of marketing, and they came in at a reasonably affordable price And then DJs took those speakers that were, I think, only supposed to do a certain number of guests, you know, and like cocktail parties and things like that. And then they turned it into this, oh, EV or nothing. EV is amazing. Yeah, I rock 300 people with my Evolves, with my Evolve 50s. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. There's no way. There's no way. Either you're DJing in a closet, or the sound ordinances in your space are so low that it doesn't matter what kind of speakers you bring. Or a lot of DJs aren't a good judge of speaker sound. That's it. And I'm starting to believe a lot of DJs don't understand what good sound is. They understand what people tell them good sound is, but they don't actually understand what good sound is. I'm convinced of that. You know, I think a lot of DJs weren't really. I think every DJ needs to have equal parts DJ skills, and at least a quarter of it needs to be like sound engineering. You need to understand the dynamics of sound. And I'm not talking about, spacing and you got to put this, I'm not talking about that. Okay. Cardioid mode and blah. I'm talking about just general sound of the stuff coming out of your speakers. I have DJs right now, to this day, that they plug in all the system, they plug in all this on our events. They never put a song on and walk to the center of the dance floor. They don't walk around the room, which is crazy to me. Which is crazy. How do you know how something's going to sound unless you're out there? I will walk out because look, everybody knows when you do your sound test, you turn your music on and here you go. And then you're playing, you're like, okay, it's loud. There are no people in the room. So it's always going to sound louder when there are no people in the room. Okay. And then you introduce people and your sound noticeably drops. So now you are creeping up. You're creeping up. Every DJ on the planet is going to get louder and louder. You know, it's just the way it works. It's just natural. It just happens. So I will walk out onto the middle of the floor halfway through the party. I'll just stand there. How does it sound to the people that are actually dancing? You know, have I creeped up? Every so often I get that error YouTube. You guys may not even see it, but it does happen. Very, very annoying. By the way, Mojack's in the building. What's going on, fam? Very excited to see you next week. We haven't seen you in a long time, so it should be a good old time. I will be there. I plan on being there Thursday through Saturday, unless some shit hits the fan on one specific event on the 25th. But I will be there on Thursday. We'll be there on Friday. So excited. Can't wait to see my boys. Should be a good time. Yeah, it should be a part of the sound chest. Exactly. The LDI COAs are impressive for their price point. They're impressive in general, but for their price point, I don't think there's anything better for their price point. Like if you're the only problem is the reason why I didn't get them. Well, two reasons. Don Rafa, thank you so much, pal. Appreciate that. Two reasons in general. One, I had some speaker price bias going on when LD contacted me first, and I'm actually having dinner with LD next week. So I'm hoping because they're there, that means that they got something new coming out. I'm really hoping for a 44 G3. I'm really, really hoping for that. We'll see. But when they contacted me and they were like, hey, do you want to try the Elcoas? I'm like, oh, I open up my computer. I go to the price. I look and I'm just like, no, thank you. Because I don't want to just take a free pair of speakers that I'm not going to use. To me, that's pointless, you know? So cause I'm not just reviewing stuff to review stuff. So, I said no to them. And then I actually talked to somebody and they were like, no, man, they're really good. And I finally heard them. Was I kicking myself like crazy? Absolutely. Because they are good. They are very, very good. Those subs. Anyway. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Rev 7 is a masterpiece. Okay. What are we talking about here with Rev 7? DJ Lala going for Rane 7, but use market most likely and after Namm just in case. Well, I can tell you this right now. There is no new Rev or new Rane. Okay. These are the flagships right now. That's not changing. Nothing's coming out on the horizon. So if you're waiting for Namm for that, you don't have to wait. That's it. That's it. Both great. Both great. Rev 7 and the Rane are both excellent controllers. I have them both. I own them both. And I will not return either one of them because they're both good. They're both really, really good. That's it. They're both really good. So you're not going to hear me say one or the other because I use both of them. And they both serve a different kind of purpose. You know, the Rev is smaller, lighter. It's only 2 channels, and I operate on 2 channels anyway. I don't use the other 2 channels, and I don't do, you know, stem split where I'm scratching something on the 4th deck. Not my thing. I like that it's there, but it's not. But I'm not going to use it. I'm not that DJ, you know. But the Rev 7 is great, but the Rane Performer has a lot of buttons, dedicated buttons that the Rev 7 just at that time it wasn't possible, you know. So but the fader on the Rev 7 is beautiful. I've gotten used to the Rane Performer fader because I also have a Rane 70, so you know, and then I always had the Rane 57 and the 62. I've gone through all of them. The new Magvel fader I just don't like. I just don't. It's fine. It gets me through the day. But do I enjoy using it? No. The cut-in is weird. It's got a real softness to it. You get used to it, but I don't know what Pioneer does. I don't know how they do it, but their faders just operate on a completely different level. Their faders are just good. So, I've been practicing. I've been back on the turntables because I got a gig on Saturday for my birthday, and you know they use those turntables, and I'm like, I got to get my hands right for the size of the turntables again. They have an S9, which I'm not happy about, but still. So I've been back on here, and I'm on my S11, and I'm just like, oh, that's right. I forgot how wonderful this mixer is because I've been on controllers when I do my events, but I forgot how good that mixer is. You know, it's funny. I forgot how good that mixer is, but also how frustrating that mixer can be. Like if you're only using that mixer, you know, from a surface level, you know, the fader, you're using just the pad modes and the buttons and that's it. But you're not going deep into the display. You'll think it's the best controller ever. But my God, is it hard to access Silent Q on the S11? It is it's like 5 clicks. And I hate that. And the fact that you can't readjust the display panel to put the things you want in front of you, it's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. They don't need a new S11. Oh, where's my desk going? They don't need a new S11 mixer to do much more than literally just have some stem support on the decks, on the mixer, and then also allow us to customize the front screen. That's all we need for the S11. That's all we need. All right, let's see here. I mean, not in the capacity. I mean, I do a little bit. I do. It depends on the mix. Typically, the first 3 or 4 cues for me are just cue points. But then that second panel is usually if I'm doing any type of wordplay or something like that. That's usually where those are reserved for. But I do agree. You know, 4 should be enough. When you go to Namm, can you please look at the LD Mela? Which one is that one? Isn't that the one? Hold on. Okay. Let's take a look at this guy real quick. So I saw this guy, which I thought, was the new 44s. I thought this was the new 44 G3s, but it is not. It's a very interesting concept. It looks good. I like the fact that, you know, you can adjust the top speakers. Like that's really, really cool. And I think these are 18s. Are they 18s? I mean, they're at least 15s. Yeah, 15 subwoofers. It's very interesting. However, the thing about this one is, for whatever reason, I don't know if they're coming to America, to North America, I should say. I don't know if they're coming. But because I think that might be enough, maybe. That might be enough, but I don't think they're coming to America. So they look cool. We'll see if they have them there. I have a meeting with them too. I'm actually going to dinner with them on Thursday, LD. So I'm going to really, really push them. LD is funny, like really funny. So my last dinner with them, was that after? It was after I received the 28 G3s and I did my review. I went to dinner with them, talked about all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. A few months later, I start to email them about stuff. Hey, can you send me this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Radio silence. Radio silence. I stopped emailing them. I'm like, I probably got the wrong email. Maybe that guy's no longer there. What happens? A week before, I didn't say that Guitar Center doesn't sell LD. I was talking about that specific model. That's what I'm saying. You know what? This is one of the things that I think the world suffers from. I'm not calling out DJ. And by the way, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you before, but welcome here. This is one of those things that I've noticed in general that everybody, and it was funny with Kayla, we were talking about nuance. And everybody wants to take everything so literal. Like there's a lot of things that can be spoken and unspoken at the same time. And people will take that one thing you say and then they will make that all of the thing. It's the worst part of being in social media. Honestly, the worst part, because I will do a video or I will do a post, and sometimes you got to edit posts for content and for size and for space, and you bring them back down, and then people are like, oh, well, you didn't do this or you didn't say this, you did that. I'm like, well, no, it's just a short video. Like, you're not supposed to take this and, you know, it's not the Bible. You know, it's not supposed to be this. Very, very, it's a very frustrating part of doing what I do. And it's the same thing applies to the real world, but like, it just seems to be hyper escalated for us. Oh, so back to my story. So I just stopped communicating with him. And then 1 week ago, all of a sudden, the guy that I've been emailing is like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? Hey, we're back. I'm like, sure. I sent him another email. Blah, 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 blah. He responds immediately. So, sometimes I feel a little whorish. And not horse, whore-ish. Sometimes I feel like you only call me when you want your booty call. Like I'm the I'm the girl that's getting the 2 a.m. phone calls when the dude comes from the club. What you doing, girl? You up? Like, that's how I feel. So every time I get like completely ignored and then they call me when they need something, which they're not the only ones that do that. They're not the only ones. There's a lot of companies that are like radio silent, nothing. All of a sudden, hey, we got this new thing. All of a sudden, they're all happy. Can we set up a meeting? And I'm like, sure. And I'm like, where the hell were you the last 6 months that I've been contacting you? When I needed something. Oh, you're not around. But now you need something, so now you're around. Sometimes the balance doesn't balance, unfortunately. The commercial, I don't know if this commercial is in, the UK, but there's a commercial and it stars Nick Offerman is the main person and he's in like a Home Depot. It could be a commercial. It could be like a TV show. And that was a part of the preview. And he's standing in Home Depot and Nick Offerman's like, he's like the Bob Vila or Via, however you want to say it, of like today. Okay. And the Home Depot guy walks up to him. He's like, hey, sir, can I help? And before he even is able to finish his sentence, he says, I know more than you, and walks away. That's how you're going to feel at Guitar Center, Mojax. And it's not the Guitar Center of the 90s and 2000s. I remember to this day, the first time I went to Guitar Center, it was like Christmas time. Like legitimately walking in like this. I was so happy. So I can touch anything I want. Hey, look, here's a $2,000 guitar. Go ahead and play it. What do you mean? Go ahead and play it. Oh my God. Keyboards everywhere. Full production studios. The first time I ever saw Pro Tools was I went into a Guitar Center and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's not like that anymore. It's nowhere near that. Unfortunately, Guitar Center has now turned into what I call it. And I think a lot of people feel this way. Guitar Center is oh shit, I left something at home. I don't have time to go back and get it. I'm going to go to Guitar Center. I'm going to pay their exorbitant fees. I'm going to pay that premium for that crappy speaker stand that I would never buy in real life that cost me more than if I bought the best, speaker stand from any of the other online companies. That's what Guitar Center is now. They don't have, if back in the day, the DJ area was wonderful. Now it's all entry level controllers. They have relationships with like, in music. So there's a lot of in music controllers there, a lot of the new marks and stuff like that. When you go in there, there's always an SZ there. There's always an SZ in Guitar Center. SZ hasn't been popular for like 8 years. There's always an SZ there. And then I got the cheap ass lights that nobody wants. Cheap ass headphones when you walk in and you're like, hey, I need the best mic you have. And they pull out like a PGX. And you're like, Well, that's a good microphone, but I want the best. This is the best. This is what everybody buys this. Just because they buy it doesn't make it the best. So, I didn't say there was anything wrong with the SZ. All I'm saying is that at this point in time, we should be, there should be other controllers in there. There's a lot of new controllers. Yeah, it's like that now. It's like that. Oh man, yeah, I hate to see a good business go down, but they did the same thing. They failed because they failed to predict the future. That was it. They failed. They're the market leaders, and we're like, we're not going online. We don't need to go online. No, but people need to feel and touch the gear. They do. They're just not going to buy it from you. But yes, they need to feel and touch the gear. That used to be the case. Now people are like, if I don't like it, I'll just send it back. It's just not the same. And they failed. The first thing they did wrong, was that they opted to not have their own online site. They partnered up with another company. So people are like, well, if I'm partnering up with them, why don't I just go to them instead? That screwed them. Screwed them. So, well, they've done some smart things lately. Like they've had a lot of Guitar Center specific products, like the Rev 7 Gold. You can only buy it from Guitar Center. They've set up short-term exclusives with like Chauvet. Their stuff comes out. A lot of times it goes to Guitar Center first, and you can only buy it from them for, a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. Sometimes when they come in with like, oh, we have it in white, it'll only be at Guitar Centers for a while. So, they're smart about that, but that's not all. Sweetwater is very good. I don't buy a lot from Sweetwater, but I did do their Gear Fest, and I've never experienced a music store like that in my life. I mean, if we're talking about Guitar Center was like Christmas, like Sweetwater, going to the Sweetwater facilities is literally like going to Disneyland. It's heaven for producers and DJs. You literally walk into their store, and it's not a store, it's a building. It is like, I don't know how many acres, probably like 500 acres. And you walk in, they have a mall in their shop. They have a food court in their shop. Everybody upstairs, all the offices are upstairs. Downstairs is the food court and all the shops. And it's not just like, oh, you walk into a Guitar Center or Sam Ash and everything's together. Every single type of gear has their own store within the store. Like, it's crazy. It is absolutely insane. They got a performance hall in the food court, like a big ass stage. Like, and then you walk out, and then they have another speaker room, which is in like, I want to say like a airplane hangar. It's that big, and it's just speakers. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Guitar Center in Hollywood. Yeah, it's just not the same. They're not the same. And the one that I used to always go to was the one that's on Van Nuys Boulevard, the one that's in Studio City. I guess that's what you'd call it. That was like the Studio City one and the Hollywood ones were the biggest stores to see like rock stars and like musicians and producers. They would always be at one of those because they live near there. And I always saw people like, hey, look, so-and-so is here. Oh, cool. And he's buying up, $30,000 worth of product. But it's not the same now. Now you go in there and it used to be every single employee that worked there were musicians. So if you were in the DJ department, they had like full-time working DJs that were your sales reps. You know, you go into the guitar area, all good people that had owned bands. They've been playing for years. Now it doesn't matter. They don't care anymore. They don't care. Okay. So, yeah, but DJ, who's going to Modesto? You know where Modesto is. I'm not driving to Modesto. For anybody that doesn't know where Modesto is around like Fresno, you know, Fresno and all them little podunk farm towns as you drive into Fresno. Like that's where Modesto is. It's not the easiest place to get to if you're in LA. But if I'm ever out there, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, let's see. Thank you guys for all the birthday stuff. Like I said, my birthday's actually on Saturday. I will be hitting the magic number 18. Now, I will be hitting the magic number. Why is it so hard to say? You know what I mean? Like, why is it so hard to say 50? I don't know why that's so hard to say. But I will be 50 on Saturday. I will be 50. Here's the thing about being 50. You don't feel okay. Remember when you were 18, 21, 50 sounded like a damn death warrant. Like legitimately, oh, you're about to die. You're 50. You know, and then I start to think about it like, you know what? I don't feel 50. I feel good. You know, I can go to the gym, I work out, everything's great. Like I don't have any like real like medical issues or anything like that. Like I'm great. Like what's the problem? It's just, I don't know. Exactly. Don Rafa nailed it. I don't know what in the world happened in the 80s and in the 70s. And I'm a 70s baby. I grew up in 75. I don't know what happened, but it's like, I think that the fact that our parents didn't really raise us in the 80s. I don't know, a lot you guys that are 50 and above, maybe even 45 and above, like you guys know this. Like our parents were never home. And then when they were home, they didn't want you in the house. You had to leave. Get out of the house and you don't come back until the street lights go on. And then you better be home. So I don't know if we just had a hard life, because I look back at the yearbooks back when I was like, I'm looking at 85, 88 yearbooks and stuff. And I'm like, why does this 12-year-old boy look like a 40-year-old man? Why is that? We looked so old, weathered, like we were smoking, 3 packs a day. Now, sometimes I think we have some sort of like confirmation bias where we hit 50 and we're like, you know what? It's not the same as it was before. But really, everybody that's like 20 is like, nah, you look old, dog. You look old. I'm not sure if it's true or not. All I know is that I don't feel 50. And when I look at people in their 40s and 50s, they don't look like my mom looked at 50. They don't. People still have youthful skin and, they look like, hey, I mean, it's almost like a perpetual 40. So I don't know what happened. I don't feel old. I don't. I feel good. And I'm starting to come to grips with the fact that I am 50. V squared. Thank you, Val, for the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And this is also very, very true. Look, I'm sorry to all my white friends and white guests on the Cleveland Terry show today, but this is a thing. And I want to be clear about something. It's not that black don't crack, because it does crack. There are some people out there that are older, but it's like our skin doesn't fall apart. Like at a certain point, like, I don't know. And I think it has to do with the fact that white people love to sunbathe. White people love to sunbathe. So that's not good for your skin. We stay the hell away from the sun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do triathlons and I'm active. I like being outside, but like, you'll never see me just sit on a pool bench soaking up the sun. No, thanks. It's hot. It's hot. I'm going back inside. So I don't know. It's one of those things. I've had the fortune of looking when I was 13. My younger daughter has this too. We have old faces. So when I was 13, like I still look at like my 13-year-old yearbook pictures. I look like I was 20 because I basically grew into my face. So my face literally hasn't changed. Yes, I mean, you get a little weight on you or whatever, you add on, you bulk up, whatever, but it hasn't changed. Justin the DJ, thank you, my man. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. You still look 20. Now, I don't think I look 20, but I know I don't look 50. And the reason why I know I don't look 50, this is how I know. It's very simple. When I'm on the phone or on a Zoom call with my clients, and my clients have 13-year-old, 15-year-olds, whatever, weddings, and they're talking to me, not at any time do they not say, oh, well, you wouldn't know anything about this. You wouldn't know anything about this. Like, that's what my clients will say. Oh, I remember back then they used to play this. You wouldn't know anything about that. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm older than you are. Like, I'm older than my clients now. But they don't see it. They don't see it. Another reason. That whole age is nothing but a number. I mean, it is true. The way you act, the way you are, the way your passion is, says a lot about your age. And I still have a passion for everything that I do. So, and, a lot of DJs, their biggest problem, in my opinion, is that they stop concerning themselves what music is actually popular, what music is actually working, and they stop appreciating the new music. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is they'll get on a phone call and they're talking to the client and they're like, what kind of music do you like? And they'll give a reference to a song that is old as shit. Something that came out in like 95, 88. And that new client, I do weddings too. That new client's like, no, I was thinking more like this person. You're like, oh, you like house? Oh, so you like, Crystal Waters? And they're like, no. So it means a lot the way you talk to people, The information, the temptations, exactly. The information that you give them is more detrimental to you losing the sale than not saying anything at all. You know? So especially me, when I'm doing bar and bat mitzvahs and I'm talking to kids and they're like, oh, they always, for whatever reason, they always got to have a meeting, a music meeting. My kids are really concerned. They want to make sure you're playing the right music. I'm like, dude, we do 400 bar mitzvahs a year. I think we know what the hell we're doing, but yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. And then we get on the call and they're like, we just want to make sure. And before the kid even says anything, I'm like, so, what kind of music you listen to? You hip hop kid? You SoundCloud kid? Are you a pop kid? It's like, well, I'm like, so, what do you like? You want some Don Toliver, you want some Fiend, and I'm naming off all of these artists, and that's it. They're like, oh, you know what I like? You're good. Because I take an interest in what they're listening to. That's key. You got to be interested. If you're not, get out of it. Get out of it. Do the music that you want to do. By the way, if Mojax is still online, I have taken something that we said on Tweak Music Tips show to heart, to literal heart. So as I've been preparing, the music I want to play for this Saturday, I am now instituting a new policy. 3 for them, 1 for me. 3 for them, 1 for me. And what I mean by that is I'm going to play 3 bangers for them and I'm going to play 1 banger for me. And that 1 banger should still work for them. And obviously the key is to sandwich in the 1 for you in between a couple of bangers. That way, if you play it and it just doesn't work, you can get out of it relatively fast. That's my new thing. Because I'm not a big fan of just play what you want to play. I'm not a big fan of that. If I'm doing a nightclub, I'm going to play what keeps everybody dancing. So that may go against what I want to play, but that's just the facts of being a DJ that they didn't pay good money just to see you. So that's the thing. Having teenage kids does help to an extent. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing. If I'm playing bar mitzvahs every week, I'm going to get more experience than somebody that just does weddings and maybe never sees kids. So I get it. You play the 1 for you and the dance floor clears. That's always a fear. That is always a fear. But I'd like to think that, as DJs, we're capable of putting the songs in a place where everybody, okay. So, as DJs, guys, everybody knows that if one song clears the dance floor, there was a bigger issue going on to begin with, typically, like maybe you're not like the main focus of it, or there's other things that are going on around you. So when they hear that song that they don't know, they get out. Oh, let's go back to the bar. Let's go to the vendors. So we understand this, but at a nightclub, people are more accepting of stuff you do. Now, just as quickly, and by the way, just so everybody knows, not to use this as your advantage. Because I know somebody will take this and be like, well, Cleveland Terry said, nightclubs don't care when you clear the dance floor in a weird way. Because when you clear the dance floor, the people go to the bar. And they actually want you to not go hard the entire time. They don't want banger after banger after banger and nobody ever leaves the dance floor, because they don't make any money if everybody's on the dance floor. So you got to change it up just to send people to the bar. It's important. I know it sounds weird and sounds dumb, but that's just facts, So, and a lot, you can do that in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. One, you change the genre. and then you change the genre. Maybe you're in a hip hop set, and then you change up, and now you're in EDM, and maybe half the people there came for hip hop, and they're not really into EDM, so they go to the bar, or vice versa, and that's okay. That is okay. I mean, this is an open format club. I'm literally going to be playing everything, 90s, little disco hip hop. I mean, disco remixes, EDM, tech house, Latin, reggaeton. I'm a piano. Like I'm gonna be playing everything. And this is why I can't stop DJing. Every time I'm like, am I over it? I'm never really over it. I'm just I'm not playing K-pop. That's the one thing. I might play, Apartment. I'll probably play that. My wife's going to be at this one, so I'll probably play that one, because she hates all music. But when my wife is the one that, is always with the kids. So, and she's always at dance where the kids are, and, they're all dancing to all the stuff that like these choreographers bring in. So she gets like tunnel vision on certain music. You should play this, and you should play this. And I'm like, no, I'm not playing that today. Like she wanted me to play that like in the middle of like a hip hop set. I'm like, these kids do not want this. No. So, but it's now at a point where it's good. And there's a lot of music in that BPMs that I can play around with. Bro, first off, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Second off, when I went out for my earlier meeting, and I have to walk past my kitchen to get to my office because it's all the way in the back. My wife had gotten the mail from the night before. What's on the kitchen bar right now? Fucking AARP membership. So I don't feel old until I start seeing shit like that. And then I'm like, what in the world? What am I supposed to do with this? It's going in the trash. It's absolutely going in the trash. That's why I go to the gym. I go to the gym to just, you know what? Pablo in the building. What's going on, fam? I go to the gym literally just to make sure I don't turn into a big fat slob, because I think that's the first signs of aging. Because the older you get, the more sedentary you get. So you start putting on pounds. I'm like, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy. So I go to the gym. By the way, very happy to report. So, by the way, when I was younger, I was full on athlete. I played basketball and football and ran track. And then after school, back in like my, 20 somethings, I did a whole bunch of triathlons all the time. I've always been really into, these kind of sports. And, and I have always thought, I lost my train of thought. First off, let's get stair lift for the house. I've always thought that, your physicality, I think even if you're older, if you look good physically, there's always a market for you. If you look good, you dress well, you're properly managed, even though I got gray. And by the way, I keep my gray, because, I'm sorry, I keep my gray because, the wife loves it. The wife loves it. So she actually wants me to be completely white. That's racist. That's not what I meant. I meant my beard to be completely white. I don't know if we're ever going to get there. I mean, we might. I got a little more growing on the sides, but it's always been here, always been here. So it was very frustrating when I first started getting it. It was only on one side. So this was all dark and this was white and it just looked awkward. So then I would definitely like shave it off. Now it's on both sides and I'm like, okay, it looks good. It's even. So now if I'm this way and I got some muscles, now I remember where I was going with this. And I got some muscles, and I dress nice. Nobody ever asks you how old you are. I don't try to drive a beat up car. Nobody cares how old you are because you got it going on. You got it together. That's the key. But, back in the day, I used to bench. My max was, back because I played cornerback and wide receiver. My max was 285. I could have gotten to 3. But then school ended and then I stopped working out that time. So anyway, I would normally work out with, typically around 225. When I tore my rotator cuff, I couldn't do any of that stuff. I kept trying to go back and it just wasn't working. I kept re-injuring it. So what I did differently this time, over the last like 3 or 4 months is 4 or 5 months is I started really light. So when I got in there, I'm lifting nothing and people are looking at me, but I needed to strengthen my shoulders before I could get back. I'm finally back to working out like multiple sets with 225. I'm very happy about that. I don't want to be huge. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the buff guy. That depends, Troll. I understand what you're saying. Not for me. The bench literally is one of the only things I can do. If I do open dumbbell presses and I go too heavy, it jacks up my shoulder. So I don't want to be huge. I just want to look good and be, have a physique, and that's it. I don't even want to have like a 6-pack. I don't care about that. I want a flat stomach. That's it. I don't want a 6-pack. That's too much work. That means I stop eating all the shit I like to eat. And I don't want to do that. I just want to look good and feel healthy. That's it. Dad bods are in. I am much higher than a dad bod, but dad bods are in. So a flat stomach and everything else, I'm good to go. Love my pull-ups. In fact, if you ever have trouble holding things, like you're trying to do heavier weight and you're like, God, my hand strength is crappy, start doing pull-ups and the strength will come back. I can literally just hold a bar now for like 4 minutes, just from doing all the pull-ups. Yeah. Granddad bod. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the a granddad bod. I missed a super chat. I saw one come through. Troll, thank you. And also Killastrong. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you guys. All this money. I know I got to buy new clothes. Not for you guys. I just have forgotten to buy clothes. Like, I am the worst at going to the mall. I won't do it. So if I do, I just get in there and I just get annoyed. I leave. But I used to do the mail order clothing, which was really good. 5'4". I think they changed their name now. They're not 5'4" anymore. But they used to send me a new wardrobe every month, and that was perfect. I think I'm gonna go back to that. But I need more clothes. I cleaned out my closet and I had all these clothes over the holidays that I hadn't worn because they were all shoved in the back of my closet. I'm like, I actually got some stuff here, but I need new clothes too. All right. Yeah, it really, the pinched nerve is a huge thing. Any type of like tear or it screws up everything. So I if you want to know where I tore it, it was flies. It was dumbbell flies specifically. That tore my rotator cuff right there. So now I only do dumbbell flies with cables because I can control it more. But to each their own. Everybody's different. You know, that's why it's really hard to say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, because everybody's body is different. So I tore my rotator cuff, and then when I was in the brace for like 4 months, that's the only thing about getting older. The only thing, it takes forever to heal. Anything you have, like you think you're dying, like, oh my God, I've had this pain. You're just getting older. So I got that first. So I was always in a sling, just kind of protecting it. And then finally, while I was wearing my sling, I guess I was putting all the pressure on this arm. So my wrist right in here is just jacked. It's fine right now, but I might wake up and I have like no strength in my wrist. Then the next day I wake up and it's fine. So you're always trying to figure out new things. Swimming is the best exercise. One of the best exercises. I love swimming too. Although I'm going to wait this time until we get a little warmer. But yes, swimming is fantastic. I wanted to get back into the same physique that I had before. So I'll start to swim again. Like I said, I did triathlons. So you had to train. You know, you don't swim a mile in the ocean and think you're not going to swim and be able to do that. So anyway, but to each their own. Do what you got to do. Whatever you got to do to make you feel better. Oh, also the biggest thing I noticed. So working out, yeah, I because I was such a physical guy back when I was a teenager, because all of your muscles and all that stuff, all that muscle memory, typically happens in your teens and into like, you know, your young adult life. So if you never did any of that, it's going to be hard to get it when you're older. I have a friend of mine that works out all the time. He never really shows like that growth because he never had any muscle memory. But the moment I hit weights, my body's like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then starts to just like kind of bounce back. So, but everybody's different. Swimming for a mile. How does it feel? Feels like a long ass swim is what it feels like. There is this weird, if you ever try to do any type of triathlons or competitions like that, what you'll notice, anybody can swim a mile or 2 miles in a pool, right? It's all contained. The waves are just flat. You're the only one creating the waves. And typically when you create the waves, it's actually helping you swim from side to side. If you ever have a problem, you just put your feet down and you're there. Put that in the ocean and it's a whole new world. First, you have to swim past the waves and the breaks. You got to get past all that. And the funny thing is when you are swimming and the race starts and you take off, and they typically have you swim out like, it's usually like a quarter of a mile. Okay. So once you get past the waves and you're going here, you're going straight, and then you make a hard right or hard left, whatever. So let's say you make a hard right. You make a hard right, and then now you're swimming, you know, parallel with the ocean. When you are swimming, okay, and you turn to get your breath and you look over, land looks hella far away. So far away. So now you are swimming what feels like in the middle of nowhere, okay? The hardest part of doing those races, you have to convince yourself that it's not a big deal. And like I'm a right head swimmer, so I'm always looking at the shoreline. Some people, I couldn't imagine if you were going this way and just seeing like just pure nothingness. At least I see the shore. That messes with you so badly. where you could almost start panicking because you're like, oh my God, I'm so far. What happens if I get a cramp? What happens if this happens? Am I going to die? It is a whole different ball game, you know? And it's just feels like you go on forever. It's a long ass swim. Like where you're literally like thinking about other shit as you're swimming. And you know, there's no lanes. It's not like the pool at the rec center where if you swim too far to the left, you just hit a wall or you hit a rope. Like there's nothing. If you go to the left, you're just going to the left. And then you look over and you're all of a sudden like, oh my God, I totally swam off course. And you have to readjust. Does it play with you, man? But if you can do it, I don't know, man. There's nothing better than that. So, what I was going to say though, very simple. I've now noticed this. I started to see a lot more definition in like my abdomen, you know, and in my arms and all that stuff, right? And then we hit the holidays. And people were bringing in lots and lots of alcohol and tequila, lots of tequila. That's my drink. And I was drinking, you know, over the holiday. I'm like, I'm going to take a little bit of a break because you got to take a break, right? You know, reset your muscles, whatever. I noticed within like 2 days, 3 days, the lack of definition in my body. Alcohol is probably the worst thing that you can do all the time. You want to do a one-off, you know, it's Saturday night, you go out to dinner, whatever, you go to the club, whatever, you get a couple of drinks, fine. But if you are consistently drinking, and it could be just a drink every day, it bloats you like crazy. Because I'm like, oh my God, where's my definition? What happened to my body? It's the alcohol. Because I stopped, I literally, it must have been about a week ago, like before the fires, I poured out all the alcohol. Yes, I poured out all the alcohol. Now, everybody's different, okay? But for me, I am the kind of person that if you have it in front of me, I will probably eat it or drink it. So it's better out of sight. I poured out the alcohol. How's that for discipline? I drank the whole time. Then we hit, you know, January 2nd. Yeah, January 2nd. And then the 3rd was when I poured out the bottles. Yes. Because if I put it in a cabinet, I'm still going to drink it. I know it's there. I've seen the most progress because I stopped buying alcohol at the house. I only drink now, and I will pay a premium to do it when I'm out. It has helped so much. Weird, right? Anyway, all right. By the way, in case I didn't say it before, this whole stream is sponsored by Sstart. If you guys don't know who Sstart is, they are a company that focuses on value-added products for your events, your DJ events. And that could be, you know, photo booth. That could mean table reservations. You know, all of these things are available. And I'm going to pull them up real quick so you can see who they are. Okay. Not there. Not there. Okay. All right. So Sstart. So they're premium products. And actually, I've talked to the owner. He's a great guy, and they got some great stuff going on for them. But their top 3 things they do is their photo wall. And basically, what this is you basically, take a picture and you post it to, Sstart, you post it to their app, and then it will show up in the DJ's app, and then they can approve, or if they want to, they can just let them all through. And then they just go through and they show up, right on the LED wall or the screen or the TVs behind you or wherever they are. They show up right then and there. Now, the good thing about it is they do have some AI in it, which is really cool, because the AI, what that does is it stops if you're concerned that some of your people are dumb and they like to post things that are not, right for this event. The AI will actually stop it from going through. Like if you tell it, oh, I don't want to show so much skin, I want to show, this much or this or that, or it will actually read that and be able to not post it, which is very, very cool. Now I've had my first demo. I have not used it on an event yet, just because my clients, the ones that I've been doing it for, they weren't supportive of it. They had a very specific thing they wanted to do, so I couldn't do it for that one. So, but I will be using them in the future. And then we got the camera roll. Camera roll is cool too, because it takes your facial recognition. So you can literally say, oh, give me all the pictures with this person in it. And then it'll pull up all of your pictures. Don't ask me how it works. But it works. And it's very, very cool. And then the last thing, which I think, especially if you are a party planner, if you're a party planner, they have, which is not even on here, Seating Genie. This guy is really cool. So this is a touch screen display that sits right at the front of the door, and let me see if they have a picture of it. Right in front of the door. And it is a touchscreen display with all of the reservations. Not that. Where is it at? I'm trying to see it in action. Okay, so for whatever reason, it's going to the same thing. But what it is just it's a touchscreen panel, and it has everything. It's beautifully done, just like you saw right here. The way it looks here. You can put your name in. It'll tell you exactly what seat you're at. Your food stuff. You can really specify exactly what this is. So you can get rid of like the place cards, which is very, very cool. Pretty affordable. Everything is done on a subscription basis, like everything is nowadays. But I'd recommend at least checking. Damn it! I'd recommend at least checking them out, because I think there's some stuff in here. Oh, and they also have a music request app too that's built into. It is built into the Instant Spotlight, so you can also use the Instant Spotlight one to request music. So very, very cool. Very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. If you were interested. Okay. For those of you, I loved Silicon Valley. That was a great show. Yeah, exactly. It's really, really cool. Honestly. How are we making this about you? And rightfully so. I think that in certain cases, they don't need to be subscription based. But for something like this, where there's a lot of back end stuff happening all the time on the events, I can see why it's subscription based. Not everything needs to be subscription based, but I understand your point. DJing takes time and patience. The equipment is only half the battle. You need to learn the music, especially in your area. And if you are traveling, arrive one day prior to get a feel for the hot music. Huh? I mean, I get what you're saying, but where does this apply in the conversation that I had today? That's where I'm a little confused. Let me know. I did not see it. But it's coming. You know, I've already said this before. AI is absolutely coming to the DJ space. And there's no reason why it wouldn't. The AI is already there. You know, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, they already have all the special user data. So get used to it. The purpose of being a DJ is not just about the music. It's about the service. It's about the atmosphere that you make. It's about you as a human being. You get what I'm saying? It's about you as a human being and how and what you do to create a better experience for the client. Even if the AI, which is never going to be perfect, but it'll get to a point where sorry, we're looking at Jose's comment. It won't get to a point. It'll get to a point where it knows the popular music and can play it and can mix it together. I mean, right now, if they had the best programmers, can read the room better than we can. How is that possible? Okay, so let's go down the sci-fi situation. Okay, let's go down it. All right. This is what I would assume some future AI DJ product is going to include. It will have something like a Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal, not search function, but they'll be scraping all that data from there, like AI does right now for their training modules. So within that training, they will know, let me get rid of this. Within that training, they will know what everybody listens to, what everybody goes back to. They will know when somebody changes a song, when they change it. They will know when somebody, fast forwards to a certain part of the song that they like. That will be there. They will know, like Mixmaster was saying, the GPS data. Again, that doesn't tell you. Okay, we'll get back to that. It's going to know in what place, what area you're playing that music, what's popular in the area that you're playing that music. I'm going to assume that on a high level, it's going to be able to mix. Obviously, they're mixing right now. And we already have sync and all that stuff, so it's going to be able to transition through. You look at apps like Algorithm DJ, where it will literally adjust your BPM, bring that down to the thing, and then when it gets out of that, it'll drop back down to the original BPM. They already have crossfader effects where it'll stem it out. It'll do all these effects. So all these things are already there. So they bring all that stuff into the process. Okay. Then, now you're at the nightclub. I'm going to use nightclub first before I use private events, but we can do both. You're at a nightclub and they have cameras around the entire room. They don't have to have all of them. Maybe they have, 4 or 6 cameras, right? Every corner, and then maybe in the middle. And those cameras have, obviously, movement detection, but then they also have, maybe like infrared or heat detection. Okay. So the camera can see if people are moving a lot versus if they're not moving. Oh, they may not like this song. I should probably change it at the chorus. Or, okay, I'm seeing all these bodies. You can see that there's more heat being produced. That means they like what I'm playing. So I'm going to give them another banger like this that will keep them going. Okay. So, that's a lot. That is a lot. And for a lot of things, that's going to be more than enough. Okay. More than enough. But that's only for clubs and for gyms and for malls, and for all these things. Private events private events are always going to be different because private events include more than just a very specific group that's just there to dance. Okay. You got grandma and grandpa, you got kids, you got adults, you got 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, and you cannot just assume, and that's what an algorithm does. It assumes. Okay. So there's going to be a place where it's just not going to work. Now, if you want to put it in the hands of like the client and go, oh, we don't like the song, skip that song, or hand choose every song, and now you just mix it, that doesn't work either. That doesn't work either. You know? So I think if you want it to be a jukebox, then sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But anybody that is a dedicated store DJ, gym DJ, I mean, any of those kind of pop-up things, those are the things that are going to go first. Somebody's going to say, oh, we have an app for that. You just tell us the genre, you know, and you give us, you know, 15, 20 songs that you kind of want for your gym session. Our algorithm will take over from there. And then every time you start the new hour, it's going to give you either that same music, but completely mixed differently, so they don't get used to when the transitions are happening, or it gives you completely different songs. Like, there's a lot of options here. But I mean, it says, meanwhile, supermarkets are removing AI self-checkouts because it's too expensive, because wait for it, it's subscription based. Yeah, these services are absolutely going to be subscription based. Absolutely. There's no way around it. You're not going to be able to just say, and yes, that install is going to be expensive for a nightclub. It's going to be expensive. Right. And, I mean, I think it's going to be expensive, period, because there's things that you still need to have. Private event. You still need speakers. You still need lights. So private events are still safe, in my opinion. Yeah, it just depends. It depends. I mean, here's the thing. I will tell you this though. I can see a lot of use from club owners. I can see a lot of use from club owners. And I say this because club owners in general are assholes. And club owners think they know more about music than you ever will. And when it's all said and done, they don't really care about the music you play. In all honesty, these club owners. And they will tell you, don't play this. And it could be the biggest songs in the world. Like, don't play this. That's not the club. That's not our club. Entire club could be asking for it. So if they could have more control over what the DJ plays, they absolutely would. Absolutely. There's no way around it. So yes, you know, those types of clubs, especially like those restaurants with the club in the back, you know what I mean? Or the restaurant that turns into a club after a certain amount of time. Like those things, those are the ones that are going to choose this AI stuff. I mean, there's always licensing, but they already pay for that. If they're doing performances at the building, they already pay for all the licenses. So it's not going to change. That won't cost them anymore. But it'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see who you blame when the party sucks. when the AI DJ keeps playing shit that people don't want to hear, but they're on the floor because, well, they are at a party, so let's dance. But at a certain point, it'll be interesting. It'll be really, really interesting. I think we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Lou in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you. See, look, Lou, sponsored by Sstart. There you go. People from Harvest coming together, making things happen. Yeah. I don't think yeah, but think about it this way. If they, I mean, maybe they only have DJs on Friday and Saturday, and then the rest of the week is all AI DJ. You know, DJing is not going to go away. What's going to end up happening is it's going to mean that the events with the DJs are special. You're going to charge more, even though they're technically paying less. We won't even get into how much they pay DJs now. But the facts are, it's going to be there's a real DJ here. It's the same kind of thing where you got vinyl DJs. And there's nothing wrong with vinyl DJs. I'm not saying they're a bad thing, but like anytime, he's DJing all vinyl today. Ooh, I got to see that. That's what you're going to be. It's going to become more of the spectacle thing versus every day we just have this AI music that's playing in the background. But if you're good enough and you have a good attitude, you're not difficult to work with, I truly believe there's always a market for you. There's always a market for you. But these people that are half-assing it all the time, and trust me when I tell you, there's a lot of half-ass DJs out there. They're the ones that are going to lose their jobs. It's just facts. I mean, mixed master. Yeah, this is accurate. Yeah, it's accurate. But like, I can tell you this. Let's say, for instance, there's that robot DJ that, they tried to push out, I think, during the pandemic. That's when people freaked out the most, right then and there with the robot DJ. And I will tell you this. Yes, novelties are a thing. And there's going to be people that are like, hey, I have the robot DJ on my wedding, on my bar mitzvah. There's going to be people that say that, and they're going to sell that to their guest. I am bringing in this really cool thing. It's a robot DJ. Can you believe that? That's not going to be all the time. Okay. It's not going to be all the time. So I'm not worried about that. Not worried about that. My high-end, and I have high-end clients, as Mixmaster was saying. High-end clients are all about, they don't care about the money. They don't care if it's cheaper or less. They just want to have a good party. And there's a certain thing to be said about the human element. It's the same thing with like auto driving or self-driving cars. Like, that's great. Yes, we love them. We love having them. It's in all these systems, all these vehicles. But they're not going to let you just sit in the back seat while your car is driving. Just not going to happen. Not for a while. And maybe by that time, 20, 25 years from now, when I'm actually retired, it won't matter to me. Maybe at that point, when I get to that age, maybe I have my own stable of robot DJs. Look, you can't just complain about technology. You can't, because while you're complaining, they're taking your jobs. So the most important part of this is understanding that I need to be aware of what it is that this does. I also need to make sure that I'm a part of it, that it's just happening around me. And then one day, all of a sudden, there's no more work for me. Like say, look, perfect example. Yes, I own a very successful DJ company, okay, in LA. Very successful. I could just sit there and do the DJ company, but I'm not dumb. I'm going to leverage the DJ company to make other companies. So I leverage the DJ company. I made an LED wall company. We book out the LED wall all the time. I wanted to start doing lighting. Since we're doing LED, we might as well do the lighting too. So now we have lighting contracts. That's a whole nother business. And if for whatever reason, the DJ company falls flat on its ass, I still have the lighting company and the LED company. That's the key here. Okay. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. So you need to be in front of it. That's it. You need to be in front of whatever's going on. Don't say it can't happen to me, because it absolutely can happen to you. And if the writing's on the wall, have some alternatives. That's it. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. And if they start hiring DJ AI, then they're still going to need me to bring the speakers in. They're still going to need me to wire everything up. They're still going to need me to provide the LED wall, to provide the up lights, to provide the table spots. Like, they're still going to need me to do all that stuff. So there's no reason that we need to fear this. You know what I'm saying? Shit, make your own. Make your own. If you know it's coming down the line, right? Make your own AI. Pull it in, make your own, sell it. You know, I'll call mine, the bar mitzvah AI DJ. I'm telling you, man, you can't go into the future with blinders on. It's happening. It is absolutely happening. That's why scams are getting better, because ChatGPT is amazing and it's making people look real now. You heard about that one old lady that got, I don't know if it's real or not, but I saw it. And the whole point is, they say she lost $800,000 because she thought that Brad Pitt was texting her and he got into an accident, and they were doing AI photos of Brad Pitt in the hospital, of Brad Pitt with, his car being smashed, like all these things. And she fell for it. So it's here. We have to realize. Now, look, I'm not a big fan, in all honesty, of all of the ChatGPT emails that I get now from people that were clearly not the brightest people. So they're using the ChatGPT to make them sound smart. But in my experience, GPT makes you sound generic. And then I have no urge to talk to you. A lot of party planners are using ChatGPT now. A lot of them. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, why are you being so wordy? Oh, ChatGPT. Got it. So it's already there. Just use it to your advantage. Take the tools and make them benefit you. That's all I can say. Make them benefit you. She was in the news in France. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. I got 4 minutes before I have to leave, because I have a conference call at 1:00. Just looking through to see if I have anything. Pablo. Okay. Did I see the phase announcement? I did see the phase announcement, Clark. I did. As a matter of fact, I can tell you this. My meeting at the crack of dawn was with phase. I did see that they have something coming out. Yes. That's all you're going to get from me. Oh, okay. Dexter Ford. Oh, and the AI voice cloning. Oh, that's amazing. Like I keep thinking like, how can I put this in here and make it work for me, especially for my videos? Because obviously, look, I think that, I think moving forward into the future, we're there now, but it's going to get really bad for a minute, especially like on YouTube. And there's a lot of fake. No, I wouldn't even call them fake sites, but they're AI sites that are being built that literally have no faces. It's just the same voice, talking through, and it sounds pretty damn impressive. Some things that I even listened to. But then, so 2 days ago, I literally was listening to a podcast. And it was a podcast. What was it about? I can't remember what the podcast, but it was an interesting topic, but I can't remember what it was right now. Anyway, as there were two people, there was a guy and a girl having this conversation, and the girl was the expert, and the guy was like the host of the podcast. And every time she would say something, he would basically like re-ask the question again. Like she would say something like, "Oh, you know what? It's all found in drinking water." Drinking water, you say? Yes, drinking water. Oh, so there are minerals in it. Yeah, there are minerals. Oh, so there are minerals. And it's like, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I was thinking, God, this host sucks. Why do you keep repeating everything she says? Because I was driving and just listening to it on my phone as I was driving. And then I ended up stopped. And then I looked at it and I scrolled down and I'm like, this whole fucking thing is AI. The whole conversation, the entire podcast is AI. And that we've already passed the dead internet theory. That's definitely true. That's absolutely true. The internet is dead. It is dead. At least Internet 1.0 is dead. All the public information that used to exist that you could grab from everyone is gone. It's gone. Gone. When was the last time you just went to a blog and read a blog? Think about that. When was the last time you did that? You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's dead. All information now is being served to you via these big ass conglomerates. Because people no longer go online. Think about it. Where do you get your news? Oh, I go to Twitter X, or I go to Facebook, or I go to Threads, and this is where I get all my information. I go to YouTube. I watch like Philip DeFranco. He's one of my favorites. And I watch him for every day. I watch him pretty much for news. You know, understand what I'm saying? Like, it's gone. It is absolutely gone. So, which should be more concerning to most people out there. And people are like, that's a big deal. It is a big deal. When the human voice is being muffled, that's a problem. We have two different like points now, and it's always political. Yes, Lehman, you beautiful bastards. Yeah, I'm more concerned with that. So yeah, there's a couple of sites out there right now. Like I'm subscribed to Ground News. If you guys have never seen that, Ground News is a great idea. What they do is they pull in all the top headlines from a number of different news sources. Could be right wing, left wing, central, whatever, and then they will take all of them. Like if it says like, fire in Palisades, they'll put down that's the start of it, and then they will show you how all of the political parties, the political news sites or whatever, are actually reporting it. And it's amazing how distorted a headline can be. it's insane, actually. You know, like the way these headlines work and the way they spin it, it's very, very sad. Well, and that's a whole other thing. Okay, before I get to George, and then I got to go. Somebody asked one question. Where'd it go? Where are you from back in 2012? Yeah, EDM. And it's actually coming back. EDM is huge right now in the clubs. Absolutely huge. And you know what they're listening to? All these, besides like, you know, the Fishers and people like that, it's a lot of 2015, 16 EDM. The Clarities, you know, all that stuff. Huge right now. Huge, huge, huge. Okay. All right. Last question. What about Zounds? Zounds is great. I use Zounds all the time. And it's one of my referrals. That too. I thought I was missing something. Where did it go? Okay. It's not there. So this is episode 1 of 2025. And I plan on continuing to do these. Now, obviously, next week I will be at Namm. So you'll see videos from me because there's, you know, products being released. So you will definitely see videos, but I don't think I will be live unless I can lock down a space, you know, and it'd only be for like an hour. If I can lock down a space with good internet, I'll try to pull people on and we'll do a full on thing if I can. If I can't, then we won't have a show. We'll push the show back. We'll have it the following week. So, thank you for coming to me and hanging with me on, my birthday weekend. It should be a good time. I'm really excited. Like I said, I've been cleaning out my folders. That's the key. I've been cleaning out my folders. Really trying to readjust my music. You know, everybody gets into this thing where they just kind of forget and things are just building up and getting messy. And I'm like, ugh, get rid of all this stuff. Or you haven't really been like pulling in new music. So all your mixes are still the same because you don't add anything new to it. You know what I mean? Now maybe you're just DJing, but there's no wordplay. There's no connection. Like I'd go back in and just kind of basically fall in love with music again. Everybody falls in and out of it, but I fell in love with music again. And, I'm very happy to be, I'm DJing on my actual birthday. My wife's like, why would you want to DJ? I'm like, because I'm a DJ and I love to DJ. And most of the time, even when I'm DJing, I don't get to DJ the way I want to DJ. So I want to DJ at a nightclub and I'm getting paid and getting paid very well too. This is one of the only times when I get to use like my fame, and make a little more money. That's the one thing I will say about YouTube that has done that. My YouTube and my Instagram, my socials, you know, really, really blowing up has allowed me to charge more for a lot of these little side gigs that I do now. So that's great. No complaints. Isomatic in the building. Thank you so much. But even though I'd love to stay and chat with you guys all day, I honestly would, because I'd rather do that than be on phone calls. But I have to go take these calls before it turns into, it's much busier than it used to be. So, I got to run, y'all, but thank you guys. It has been amazing. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you either next Thursday or the Thursday after. And, we'll talk about all the new gear that's out or not out. It is what it is. All right, y'all. See you soon. Have a great weekend. Have great parties and, stay up.